Amelia Hart stood at attention as the massive doors of the Valaxian throne room swung open. She tried to ignore the stares from the tall, blue-skinned aliens who filled the royal court. Most of them had never seen a human before, especially not one, wearing the formal armor of a royal guard candidate. The metal plates felt heavy on her 5'4" frame, but she kept her posture perfect as she had been trained. The Valaxian Royal Guard commander Verak towered over her, his 9-foot height, making her feel like a child, but Amelia refused to be intimidated. She was representing all of humanity in this exchange program, the first human to ever serve in an alien military. She could not fail. Empress Kylara sat on a crystalline throne that seemed to glow from within. Her skin was darker blue than the others, almost midnight, colored with intricate patterns that shimmered when she moved. Her eyes, pure white with no visible pupils, studied Amelia with open curiosity. "Let us see this human," Warrior the Empress said, her voice surprisingly melodic. Amelia stepped forward and knelt as she had been instructed. The throne room floor was cold against her knee. She rose when the Empress gestured. "You are small," she observed. "Small but effective. Your Majesty?" Amelia responded, "We humans developed on a high-gravity world. Our muscles and bones are dense, our reflexes quick." The Empress tilted her head. "I have read reports of human capabilities. They seem exaggerated. Perhaps a demonstration, Verak," suggested. Amelia tensed. This hadn't been part of the briefing. The Empress nodded. "Yes," she agreed. "I wish to see what this human can do," at a signal from Verak. 2 Valaxian guards stepped forward. They were both at least 8 feet tall, wearing the same formal armor as Amelia, but sized for their much larger frames. One carried a training staff. "Show us your combat skills," Human Verak ordered. Amelia took the offered staff. It was too long for her, designed for Valaxian height, but she adjusted her grip. She faced her opponents, who seemed almost amused by the matchup. The first guard attacked with his staff. The blow would have crushed a Valaxian, but Amelia was faster. She sidestepped and used his momentum against him, striking at the back of his knee where the armor was thinner. The Valaxian stumbled, surprised by her speed. The second guard attacked while she was engaged. Amelia ducked under his swing and rolled forward, coming up inside his reach. She struck 3 rapid blows to vulnerable points in his armor. The Valaxian grunted in pain. The first guard had recovered, and both now approached more cautiously. They attacked together from different angles, attempting to trap her. But humans from Earth had been fighting each other for thousands of years. Amelia had trained in combat since childhood. She moved in ways the Valaxians had never seen, using techniques developed for Earth's gravity. She jumped higher than they expected, twisted in ways their larger bodies couldn't match. Within minutes, both guards were disarmed. The throne room had fallen silent. "Impressive," the Empress finally said. Her white eyes moved to Verak. Perhaps the reports were not exaggerated after all. Amelia stood at attention again, breathing hard, but proud. She had proven herself. Or so she thought. "The human will be assigned to Princess Zara," the Empress declared. Verak seemed shocked. "Your Majesty," he protested. "The human has shown skill, but Princess Zara requires our most experienced guards. The threats against her are..." The Empress raised a hand, silencing him. "This is a diplomatic appointment, Commander," she said. "The human governments have sent us one of their warriors. We will honor the exchange by assigning her to my daughter." Verak looked like he wanted to argue, but merely bowed. Amelia kept her expression neutral, but internally she was processing this development. Princess Zara was the third daughter of Empress Kylara. According to briefing materials, she was a scientist researching ancient history. Being assigned, as her guard was ceremonial at best, insulting at worst. The real protection would be handled by Valaxian guards. The human role would be symbolic as. The throne room cleared. Verak approached Amelia. "Your demonstration was adequate," he said. "But do not mistake this assignment for acceptance. You will be observing, not protecting. The princess already has 6 experienced guards." Amelia nodded. "I understand, Commander. You will meet Princess Zara tomorrow." Verak continued. "You will follow all protocols. You will speak only when spoken to. You will remember that you are here to observe our methods, not to implement your own. Yes, Commander, Amelia responded, keeping her voice even though frustration burned inside her. She had hoped to prove humans could be valuable allies. Instead, she was being treated as a diplomatic token. Her quarters were smaller than the Valaxian rooms, but still luxurious by human standards. The ceiling was uncomfortably high, designed for Valaxian height, but the bed had been adjusted for her. The window overlooked the capital city of the Valaxian Empire. Its spires reached into purple clouds, buildings connected by transport tubes that glowed in the evening light. Amelia contacted Earth Central Command, giving them a brief update on her assignment. "You were expecting this," Captain Earth Central responded. "The Valaxians are testing us. They want to see how we respond to being underestimated." "I know," Amelia said, "but I thought after the demonstrations mean nothing. You need to prove yourself in real situations." The captain paused. "Consider this an opportunity. Princess Zara has received death threats from isolationist factions. The assignment may be more dangerous than it appears." Amelia straightened. "Is there intelligence I should know about?" "Nothing specific. Just be vigilant. The Valaxians don't believe humans can be effective guards. Use that assumption to your advantage." The next morning, Amelia was escorted to Princess Zara's chambers in the East Wing of the palace. The princess was reportedly returning from a research expedition to ancient ruins on a nearby moon. Her Valaxian guards were already assembled in the reception room, their armor polished, their posture perfect. They ignored Amelia as she took position near the door, the place assigned to her. The princess arrived an hour later. Amelia was surprised by her appearance, where Empress Kylara was regal and intimidating. Princess Zara seemed almost casual. Her blue skin was lighter than her mother's, the patterns more subtle. She wore simple clothing appropriate for a scientist, not royalty. Her white eyes widened when she noticed Amelia. "Is that a human?" she asked, excitement clear in her voice. "Yes, Your Highness," the lead guard responded. "This is the exchange officer from Earth. She has been assigned to observe your protection detail." Amelia bowed formally as the princess approached. "What is your name?" the princess asked, studying Amelia with obvious curiosity. "Amelia Hart." "Your Highness," Amelia replied, "I have been assigned to your protection detail." The princess smiled, a surprisingly human expression. "You are much smaller than I expected," she said. "Are all humans your size?" "We vary, Your Highness," Amelia explained. "Some are taller, some shorter. This is average for a female." "Fascinating," the princess murmured. "I have studied human physiology but never met one in person." She circled Amelia, examining her armor. "Your equipment has been modified for you?" "Yes, Your Highness. Standard Valaxian, armor adjusted for human proportions." The princess nodded, seeming pleased. "Welcome to my service, Amelia Hart," she said. "I look forward to learning more about humans." She turned to her other guards. "We will be attending the Science Academy Symposium. This afternoon, prepare transport." The lead guard stepped forward. "Your Highness, we have received reports of possible isolationist activity near the Academy. Perhaps you should reconsider." The princess waved dismissively. "Their protests are political, not violent," she said. "I will not miss the symposium due to vague threats. Besides," she added with a glance toward Amelia, "now I have a human guard as well." Her tone suggested she found the idea amusing. The guards prepared for departure. Amelia was instructed to remain at the back of the formation. The message was clear: she was not considered part of the actual protection. She was an observer, a diplomatic courtesy, as they boarded the royal transport. Amelia noted security procedures, memorizing protocols. She would do her job regardless of how the Valaxians viewed her. She would protect Princess Zara and represent humanity with dignity. The transport rose smoothly into the purple sky of the Valaxian homeworld. Through the window, Amelia could see the Science Academy. Its circular buildings connected to form a massive complex. Landing platforms extended from various levels. For a moment, Amelia forgot her mission, lost in the wonder of being on an alien world serving an alien princess. Then her training took over. She scanned for threats, noting positions of security personnel identifying potential vulnerabilities. The Valaxians were thorough, but they had blind spots. They relied on intimidation, their size and strength, deterring most threats. They didn't look for small hidden dangers as the transport landed. Amelia noticed something unusual. A maintenance worker near the platform was watching their arrival too intently. His uniform didn't fit properly. His movements seemed rehearsed, not natural. The Valaxian guards didn't notice, focused on larger, more obvious threats. Amelia made a decision she would watch this worker. This small detail that her training told her was wrong. It was probably nothing. But if there was danger, this is where it would come from, something the Valaxians would overlook, something only a human might notice. The royal transport landed at the Science Academy platform. Princess Zara's Valaxian guards formed a protective formation around her. Amelia remained at the back observing, but her attention was fixed on the maintenance worker. His movements were too calculated. His eyes followed the princess too intently as the royal party moved toward the academy entrance. Amelia noticed the worker speaking into a small device. She edged closer to the princess, still maintaining her position, but readying herself. The lead Valaxian guard was scanning the crowd, looking for obvious threats, missing the subtle danger. The maintenance worker began moving parallel to their group, keeping pace while pretending to check equipment panels along the wall. Amelia watched as he slipped a hand into his pocket. The motion was casual, but she recognized the gesture. When the worker suddenly changed direction, cutting through the formation toward the princess, Amelia was already moving. She broke protocol, abandoning her observation position. She pushed past surprised Valaxian guards, their size working against them in the crowded space. The worker pulled something from his pocket, a small cylindrical device. Amelia launched herself forward, human muscles propelling her across the distance. She tackled the would-be assassin just as he raised the device. The impact sent them both crashing to the ground, the cylinder rolling away. Valaxian guards reacted seconds too late, surrounding them with weapons drawn. The worker struggled against Amelia's hold, but Earth gravity had made her stronger than her size suggested. She pinned him using techniques developed for subduing larger opponents. "Security," Amelia shouted, "assassin." The cylinder began emitting a high-pitched whine, recognizing the sound of a charging weapon. Amelia shouted, "Clear the area." Bomb Valaxian guards grabbed Princess Zara, pulling her away from the threat. The lead guard scooped up the device and hurled it over the platform edge. It detonated in midair, the explosion sending a shockwave across the landing area. The blast would have killed everyone within 20 feet. The would-be assassin continued struggling, but Amelia maintained her hold until Valaxian security officers took control. They dragged the attacker away while Princess Zara's guards formed a tighter circle around her. Varric appeared, his expression a mixture of shock and grudging respect. "You disobeyed protocol," he said to Amelia. "You left your assigned position." "I identified a threat and neutralized it," Amelia responded, standing at attention. Her uniform was torn from the struggle, but she maintained her military bearing. The Valaxian commander studied her. "How did you know?" he asked. "The assassin looked like any maintenance worker. Something about his movements," Amelia explained. "Humans are used to looking for subtle behavioral cues. His uniform didn't fit correctly. His attention was focused on the princess, not on his work." Small details. Varric seemed to consider this. The princess approached despite her guards' attempts to keep her back. "The human saved my life," she said. Her white eyes focused on Amelia. "You saw what my own guards missed." The symposium was canceled. The royal party returned to the palace amid heightened security. Amelia was summoned to the Empress throne room. She stood before the crystalline throne, aware of the changed atmosphere. The Valaxian court no longer looked at her with dismissal, but with curiosity, and in some cases respect. "You have proven yourself useful, human," the Empress said. "Your quick action saved my daughter. For this you have my gratitude." "Thank you, Your Majesty," Amelia replied, bowing. "The assassin has been identified," the Empress continued. "He belongs to the purest faction. They oppose any alliance with other species, particularly humans." She leaned forward slightly. They believe your kind is dangerous. Amelia remained silent, unsure how to respond. Perhaps they are correct, the Empress added, with what might have been a smile. We underestimated you, it will not happen again. From this moment you are officially assigned to Princess Zara's personal guard, not as an observer, but as a full protector. Varric stepped forward. Your Majesty, he began, the human has earned this position. Commander, the Empress interrupted. She saw what your guards did not. She acted when they hesitated. She will continue to protect my daughter. She turned back to Amelia. Do you accept this assignment? Amelia stood straighter. I do, Your Majesty. It would be my honor. Later that evening, Amelia was moved to new quarters adjacent to Princess Zara's chambers. The princess herself came to visit. As the door slid open, Amelia bowed formally. Please don't stand on ceremony, the princess said. Her tone was friendly. I came to thank you personally. I was doing my duty, Your Highness. Amelia responded. The princess tilted her head, studying Amelia with those strange white eyes. How did you know? She asked. The assassin looked like any worker. Amelia considered how to explain. It was many small things, Your Highness, she began. The way he watched you. His posture. His uniform didn't sit right. He was too focused, too intent. Humans are good at noticing these details. Fascinating, the princess murmured. You perceived threat, indicators my own people missed. She moved to the window, looking out at the capital city. I have studied humans for years. She continued. Your history, your biology, your cultures. But reading data is not the same as meeting one of you. She turned back. To Amelia, I have many questions if you don't mind. Amelia was surprised but nodded. Of course, Your Highness. Call me Zara when we are private, the princess said. This is not a formal inquiry, just scientific curiosity. For the next 2 hours, Amelia answered. Questions about Earth, about human society, about her own life. The princess was particularly interested in human emotions and how humans formed connections with each other. Your species feels emotions so intensely. Zara observed. You form deep attachments. To others, even outside your genetic line, Valaxians are more reserved. Our emotional connections are primarily to family units and to the Empire. Do Valaxians not form friendships? Amelia asked, then quickly added, Your Highness. Zara smiled again. We do, but differently than humans. Our connections are based on shared purpose, on logical benefits. We find human relationships intriguing. They often seem to serve no practical purpose, yet you value them greatly. Amelia nodded. Friendship, emotional connection. These are important to us. They give meaning to our lives. Meaning, the princess repeated thoughtfully. I would like to understand this better. She stood to leave. You have given me much to consider. Amelia Hart, I look forward to learning more about humans through you. After the princess left, Amelia contacted Earth Central Command, reporting the day's events and her new assignment. This is an unexpected development, the captain said. The Valaxians rarely admit when they've misjudged something or actions have elevated humanity's status. I was just doing my job, Amelia responded. Nevertheless, this is significant. You are now in a position to learn more about Valaxian society, especially through Princess Zara. Her research into ancient history might be valuable, Amelia frowned. Why is her research important? We have reason to believe she may have discovered something significant, something that could change the relationship between our species. Be alert for any information she might share. Is that my primary mission? Now Amelia asked intelligence gathering. Your primary mission is to protect the princess, the captain clarified. But yes, any information you gather, particularly about her research, is of interest. Amelia ended the communication feeling troubled. Her duty was clear. Protect Princess Zara. But now Earth Central wanted her to spy on the princess as well, to gain her trust in order to learn about her research. It felt wrong somehow, like a betrayal. The next morning, Amelia assumed her new position as part of Princess Zara's personal guard. She was given a new uniform, modified Valaxian armor with Earth military insignia. The other guards treated her with cautious respect, still uncertain about having a human among them but unable to deny her effectiveness. Princess Zara was scheduled to return to her laboratory at the Science Academy. The assassination attempt had not deterred her. If anything, she seemed more determined. "We cannot allow fear to interrupt scientific progress," she declared as they prepared to leave. The security formation had changed. Amelia was now positioned closer to the princess. The lead guard Traz addressed her directly before departure. "You have proven your worth. Human," he said. "But do not think success makes you equal to Valaxian warriors. We have protected the royal family for generations." Amelia met his gaze. "I don't claim equality." She responded, "Only difference. Our species have different strengths, different perspectives. Together we are more effective than either alone." Traz considered this. Then he nodded slightly. Perhaps he conceded. The journey to the academy was uneventful. Security had been increased throughout the capital. The purist faction was being investigated there known. Members monitored. Amelia remained vigilant, studying every person who approached, watching for the subtle signs humans were trained to notice. At the laboratory, Princess Zara showed Amelia her work. Ancient artifacts were arranged on tables, star charts, covered walls. Computers displayed data in Valaxian script. "This is my life work," the princess explained, studying the origins of our species. Where we came from, how we evolved. She gestured to a particular artifact, an object that resembled a stone tablet covered in unfamiliar symbols. "We have found similar writing on 20 different worlds," she said. "Yet according to our historical records, these worlds had no contact with each other. What does it mean?" Amelia asked, genuinely interested. "That is what I'm trying to discover," Zara responded. Her white eyes seemed to glow with excitement. "I believe someone seeded these worlds with life, long before our recorded history. The implications are enormous." The small metallic sphere rolled across the laboratory floor, emitting a high-pitched whine. Amelia recognized it as a sonic disruptor not designed to kill, but to incapacitate. The Valaxian guards were already moving toward the princess, but Amelia was faster. She grabbed the princess and pulled her under a heavy metal table a fraction of a second before the device activated. A wave of sonic energy pulsed through the room. The Valaxian guards dropped to their knees, clutching their heads. Their species had more sensitive hearing than humans, making them vulnerable to sonic weapons. Amelia felt the pressure in her ears, but remained functional. She kept her body over the princess, protecting her. Two figures in dark uniforms dropped from the ventilation shaft, their faces covered with masks. They carried weapons, scanning the room. "Stay down," Amelia whispered to the princess. "The attackers can't see us yet." Princess Zara nodded, her white eyes wide with fear, but she remained silent. The attackers moved toward the fallen guards. One of them spoke into a communication device. "Guards neutralized," they reported. Searching for the princess, Amelia assessed the situation. The attackers were focused on finding Zara. They hadn't noticed the human and princess. Under the table, the fallen guards were incapacitated but appeared to be alive. Earth Central had briefed her on Valaxian physiology. Their hearing would recover, but it would take several minutes. She had to act before reinforcements arrived. Amelia pulled her sidearm, a compact energy pistol designed for human hands. She signaled for the princess to remain hidden, then rolled out from under the table, firing as she moved. Her first shot caught an attacker in the shoulder, spinning him around. The second attacker turned toward her. Raising his weapon, Amelia dove behind a cabinet as energy blasts scorched the wall where she'd been. The injured attacker was down, but the second was moving toward her position. She waited until his footsteps were close enough, then swept her leg out, catching his ankles. He stumbled, giving her the opening she needed. She fired again, hitting him in the chest. Both attackers were down, but Amelia knew there would be more. They had mentioned reinforcements. She moved back to the princess. "We need to move, Your Highness," she said. "Security protocols have been compromised." Where Zara asked, "We are in lockdown." Amelia thought quickly. There was an emergency exit at the back of the laboratory, but it would be the obvious escape route, likely monitored by the attackers. She noticed an access panel near the floor maintenance tunnels. She said, "They run throughout the academy. We can use them to reach the emergency transport bay. The princess looked doubtful. Those tunnels are designed for service drones, she said. They are too small for Valaxians. Amelia allowed herself a small smile. I'm not Valaxian, she reminded the princess. I can fit, and you are smaller than most Valaxians. Princess. Zara considered this. Then, she nodded. Hurry, she said. The purists will send more forces. Amelia removed the access panel, revealing a narrow tunnel. Valaxian service drones were approximately the size of Earth dogs, making the tunnels just large enough for a human to crawl through. Zara would have to hunch but could manage you first, Your Highness, Amelia instructed. I need to cover our retreat. The princess hesitated, clutching her data device. This research, she said. We cannot let it fall into purist hands. We won't. Amelia promised. Now please go. As Zara entered the tunnel, Amelia checked the fallen guards. Traz was beginning to recover, his eyes focusing on her maintenance tunnel. She told him, Section 42, emergency transport. Bring reinforcements. The Valaxian guard nodded. Weakly, Amelia took his communication device, then followed the princess into the tunnel, replacing the access panel behind them. The space was cramped, illuminated only by small lights along the floor. Princess Zara moved awkwardly, her taller frame forced to bend uncomfortably. How do you know where to go? The princess asked. I studied the academy schematics before our first visit. Amelia explained, security protocol. All guards are required to know evacuation routes. She didn't add that she had memorized the maintenance tunnels specifically because they were too small for Valaxians, making them perfect emergency routes for a human. They crawled through the narrow passages, turning at junctions, following Amelia's directions. Behind them, they could hear alarms and distant weapons fire. The Academy security forces were engaging the purist attackers. After 20 minutes of uncomfortable crawling, they reached another access panel. Amelia listened carefully before pushing it open. They emerged. In a small equipment room near the emergency transport bay, Amelia checked Traz's communication device. The Academy security channels were chaotic, with reports of multiple purist attackers throughout the facility. The attack was larger than she had initially thought. This was a coordinated assault. We need to contact the palace, she told the princess. Let them know you're safe. Zara nodded, but the communications might be monitored, she warned. The purists might have infiltrated our systems. Amelia considered this. We use Emergency Protocol 3. She decided a simplified code that would tell the palace the princess was safe without revealing their location. As she reached for the communication panel, the door to the equipment room slid open. 3 purist attackers stood in the doorway, weapons raised. Amelia reacted instantly, pushing the princess behind a storage unit and diving in the opposite direction, drawing their fire energy bolts scorched the wall behind her. She fired back, hitting one attacker in the leg. The others took cover using the doorframe as protection. Amelia was pinned down, unable to reach the princess without exposing herself to fire. One of the attackers spoke. We only want the data the princess carries, he called. Out-surrender it and you can live. Amelia glanced at Zara, who clutched the data device protectively. The princess shook her head slightly. The research stays with me. Zara called, her voice surprisingly steady. I am Princess Zara, 3rd daughter of Empress Kailara. I do not negotiate with terrorists. The attackers responded with another volley of energy fire. Amelia used the distraction to move to a new position, getting a better angle. She fired twice more, dropping a second attacker. The third retreated into the corridor. Amelia knew they needed to move. The attack was too coordinated, too well planned. There had to be more purists nearby. The transport bay is just beyond that corridor, she told the princess. But we can't go that way now. Princess Zara looked around the equipment room. Is there another route? Amelia studied the ceiling maintenance access, she said, pointing to a panel above them. But it's too high. The princess followed her gaze, then moved to a storage unit. Help me push this, she said. Together, they positioned the unit under the access panel. Amelia climbed up and pushed the panel aside, revealing another tunnel. She helped the princess climb up, then pulled herself into the tunnel. Just as they replaced the panel, the equipment room door slid open again. More attackers entering. They crawled through the ceiling tunnel, following power conduits that Amelia hoped led to the transport bay. Behind them, they could hear attackers searching. The princess moved more confidently now. Despite the cramped space, "You are remarkably adaptable," she whispered to Amelia. "Humans have to be." Amelia responded, "We survived on Earth by adapting to challenges." The princess was quiet for a moment. Then she asked, "Do you think the attackers know what my research contains?" Amelia hesitated. "I don't know, Your Highness," she admitted. "Why would they target your research specifically?" Zara seemed to be considering whether to share something. Then she said, "My discoveries suggest something revolutionary. Something that could change the relationship between our species." She held up the data device. "I have found evidence that humans and Valaxians share common ancestors." Amelia stopped moving, stunned by the revelation. "Is that possible?" The princess nodded. "The genetic markers are subtle but unmistakable. An ancient spacefaring race seeded both Earth and Valax with life. The differences in our species came from environmental adaptation. But at our core, we are related." Amelia understood immediately why the purists would want to destroy this research. Their entire ideology was based on Valaxian genetic superiority. The idea that Valaxians were related to humans would undermine everything they believed. "We have to protect this information," Amelia said. "It's too important to lose." Zara nodded. "It's not just scientific knowledge," she said. "It's the foundation for lasting peace between our worlds." They reached the end of the tunnel. Another access panel. Amelia listened carefully before pushing it open. They emerged on a maintenance walkway overlooking the emergency transport bay. Several small vessels were docked below. But the bay was not empty. Purist attackers had secured the area. Positioning themselves at key points, Amelia counted 6 attackers, all armed. All watching the main entrance to the bay. They hadn't spotted the human and princess on the walkway yet. But it was only a matter of time. "We need a distraction," Amelia whispered. The princess studied the bay layout. There she pointed to a fuel station, near the far wall. "If we could trigger the emergency systems," Amelia followed her gaze. "An alarm would draw their attention, but they might still spot us trying to reach a transport." Zara removed a small device from her pocket. "A research tool," she explained. "It emits an energy pulse for analyzing artifacts, but at the highest setting." She adjusted something on the device. "It could trigger the emergency sensors." Amelia nodded, understanding the plan. "It'll get us to that transport," she said, pointing to the vessel closest to their position. "When the alarm triggers, move exactly as I do." The mountain facility was built into the rock face, nearly invisible, until they were directly in front of it. A hidden landing pad extended as they approached, responding to a signal from the princess. Zara guided the transport to a perfect landing. Despite her limited flight experience, "This place is not in any official record," Zara explained as they disembarked. "Only my most trusted researchers have access." She placed her hand on a concealed scanner. The massive rock door slid open silently, revealing a corridor carved into the mountain. Amelia followed the princess inside, her training keeping her alert, despite their apparent safety. The facility was smaller than she expected, but impressively equipped research stations lined the walls. Advanced computers hummed quietly. Artifact containment units stood in the center of the main chamber. Most were empty, but a few contained objects similar to those Amelia had seen in the Academy laboratory. "My private collection," Zara said, gesturing to the artifacts. "The most significant discoveries, pieces too important to keep in the public facility." Amelia studied the chamber, noting exits, security systems, potential defensive positions. The attack at the Academy had left her on edge. She activated her communication device, attempting to contact the palace, but the mountain blocked the signal. "We are isolated here," the princess observed. Noticing Amelia's attempt, communications requires special equipment. She moved to a console and activated it. "This will connect to secure royal channels, but it will take time to establish the link. The mountains contain minerals that interfere with standard signals." While they waited, Amelia examined her injured arm. The energy bolt had burned through her uniform, leaving a painful wound on her upper arm. Princess Zara noticed her discomfort. "You are injured," she said, concern evident in her voice. "It's minor," Amelia assured her. Just a graze, the princess moved to a cabinet, removing medical supplies. "These are designed for Valaxians," she said, "but our physiologies are similar enough for basic treatment." She hesitated. "May I?" Amelia nodded, removing the damaged portion of her uniform to expose the wound. The princess applied a cooling gel that immediately eased the pain. Then she wrapped the area with a regenerative bandage. The gentleness of her touch surprised Amelia. "Thank you." "Your Highness?" she said. Zara smiled. "Please call me Zara," she requested. "When we are alone, I think you have earned that right." Princess, her task complete, did not move away immediately. Instead, she studied Amelia with those strange white eyes. "Human skin is fascinating," she said. "So many variations in color. So responsive to touch." Amelia felt a strange warmth that had nothing to do with her injury. The princess was standing very close, their faces only inches apart despite the difference in height. Something unspoken passed between them, a moment of connection that transcended species. The communication console chimed, breaking. The moment Zara moved away, quickly turning her attention to the screen. Empress Kylara appeared, her expression a mixture of relief and anger. "Daughter," she said, "you are safe." "Yes, mother," Zara responded. "We escaped the Academy attack. The human guard protected me." The Empress nodded. "I have received reports the purists have been captured, those at the Academy and those who infiltrated the palace security. They attacked the palace as well," Zara asked, alarmed. "They attempted to." The Empress corrected. "Their agents were discovered before they could act. The attack on the Academy was meant to distract us while they infiltrated the palace security systems. Their plan was more sophisticated than we anticipated." Amelia listened carefully. The coordinated nature of the attack indicated organization and resources beyond what she'd expected of a fringe group. "What is your location?" the Empress asked. "My northern facility," Zara answered. "We will remain here until you confirm it is safe to return." "A wise precaution," the Empress agreed. She looked at Amelia. "Human," she said. "Your actions have saved my daughter twice now. The Empire is in your debt." "Thank you." "Your Majesty," Amelia replied, bowing slightly. The Empress continued. "Royal transports will bring additional guards to your location. They will arrive within hours. Until then, you are the only protection my daughter has. Do not fail in your duty." "I won't, Your Majesty," Amelia promised. After the communication ended, Princess Zara moved to a research station, activating screens that displayed data charts and genetic sequences. "This is what the purists wanted to destroy," she explained. "My evidence of our shared ancestry." Amelia studied the displays, though she couldn't read the Valaxian script. "Is it conclusive?" she asked. Zara nodded. "The genetic markers are unmistakable," she said, pointing to specific sequences. "The same patterns appear in both species. They cannot be explained by convergent evolution. They indicate deliberate design." She manipulated the controls, bringing up images of artifacts discovered on different worlds. Here she continued. "These symbols appear on 27 planets in our shared galactic neighborhood. Always in the oldest archaeological layers. Always with the same basic meaning." "What do they mean?" Amelia asked, fascinated. "Despite the circumstances, life from the stars," Zara translated. "Or perhaps more accurately, life brought by those who came from the stars." Amelia considered the implications. An ancient spacefaring civilization seeding life across multiple worlds, then departing, leaving their creations to evolve independently. It seemed like something from human science fiction. Yet the evidence was before her. Why did they do it? She wondered. Zara shook her head. "We may never know," she admitted. Perhaps it was scientific curiosity. Perhaps they were preserving life from some catastrophe. Perhaps it was something we cannot comprehend. She gestured to the artifacts. "But they left these markers. these breadcrumbs for us to follow once we were ready to understand. How many people know about this? Amelia asked. Very few, Zara replied. My most trusted researchers, and now you. She moved closer to Amelia again. This knowledge must be shared carefully. If released too suddenly, it could destabilize our society. Valaxian culture is built on assumptions of our unique evolution. The implications for human-Valaxian relations would be enormous as well, Amelia realized. Two species discovering they were essentially distant cousins. It could transform everything or lead to denial and conflict. You trust me with this knowledge, Amelia said. Why? Zara was quiet for a moment, studying Amelia's face. From our first meeting, she finally said, I sensed something in you. A connection I cannot explain scientifically. She smiled. Something beyond logic. Before Amelia could respond, an alarm sounded, a proximity alert. Zara moved quickly to the security console. A transport is approaching, she said. It's not using royal identification codes. Amelia moved to her side, checking the scanner. A small transport similar to the one they'd used to escape the academy was descending toward the hidden landing pad. How did they find this place? She asked. The facility is not in official records. Zara looked troubled. I don't know, she admitted. Only those I trust completely know of this location. She activated the external cameras. The transport landed and 4 figures emerged, all wearing purist insignia, all armed. We need to secure the facility, Amelia said, moving immediately to the main door. She activated the emergency locks, reinforcing the entrance. It's designed to withstand attacks, but we should prepare for the worst. How many exits are there? 2, Zara replied. This main entrance and an emergency tunnel that leads to a cavern 2 kilometers north. She pointed to a concealed door in the rear of the facility. Amelia nodded. We need to protect your research, she said. Can you download everything to a portable device? Already done. Zara held up the data device she'd taken. From the academy, I always keep backups. Outside, they could hear the intruders attempting to breach the main door. The reinforced entrance would hold temporarily, but Amelia had no illusions about their safety. The purists were determined. They would find a way in. We should use the emergency tunnel, Amelia decided. Get you to safety. The reinforcements your mother mentioned will be here. Soon, Zara hesitated. My research, she said. Some artifacts cannot be replaced. Amelia understood the princess's reluctance, but her priority was clear. Your life is more important than the artifacts, she insisted. The knowledge is preserved in your data device. That's what matters. The princess reluctantly agreed. She moved to the emergency exit, activating the hidden door. A narrow tunnel appeared, illuminated by soft lights embedded in the walls. They entered the tunnel, the door sealing behind them. Just as it closed, they heard a loud explosion. The purists had breached the main entrance. The tunnel was tall enough for the princess to walk upright, a luxury. After their earlier escape through maintenance passages, Amelia took the lead weapon ready, checking for threats ahead. The path sloped gradually upward, following the natural contours of the mountain. How much farther? Amelia asked after they had been walking for nearly 20 minutes. Not far, Zara replied. The cavern entrance is just ahead. She pointed to where the tunnel widened. There should be emergency supplies stored there, including communication equipment. They reached the cavern, a natural formation enhanced with minimal technology. Basic lighting illuminated the space. Supply crates were stacked against one wall. A small communication array sat on a portable table. Amelia immediately moved to the array, attempting to contact the palace. The signal was weak but functional. She managed to establish a connection with royal security, informing them of their situation and location. Reinforcements are 30 minutes out, the security officer reported. Hold your position. 3 weeks after the attack, Princess Zara stood before the Valaxian High Council, her posture perfect, her expression calm. Amelia watched from a position near the wall, still serving as the princess's personal guard, though now she was joined by 6 elite Valaxian warriors. The entire council chamber was under heavy security. The events at the Academy and Mountain facility had exposed weaknesses in royal protection. Empress Kylara sat on her crystalline throne observing as her daughter presented her findings to the assembled council members. The atmosphere was tense. Council members murmured to each other as Zara displayed genetic sequences and artifact images on large screens. What you suggest is impossible. One counselor objected, his blue skin darkening with emotion. Valaxians evolved naturally on our homeworld. We have fossil records tracing our development. Princess Zara nodded respectfully. I am not disputing our fossil record, she explained. The intervention I have discovered occurred at a very early stage in our development. The ancient visitors modified primitive organisms on multiple worlds, including Valax and Earth. These organisms then evolved naturally, but from a common template. Another counselor leaned forward. What evidence supports this extraordinary claim? Zara activated a new display showing matching genetic sequences from various species. These markers appear in the same locations across 27 species from different worlds, she explained. The mathematical probability of this occurring naturally is beyond calculation. It indicates deliberate design. The council chamber erupted in debate. Some counselors dismissed the evidence, others demanded more research. Empress Kylara watched silently, allowing the discussion to unfold. Amelia noticed how different Valaxian debate was from human politics. There was passion, but it was controlled, directed toward understanding rather than winning. One elderly counselor rose to speak. The implications of this discovery are profound, he said. If Valaxians share common ancestry with humans and other species, it changes our understanding of our place in the galaxy. That is precisely why this information must be suppressed. Another counselor argued it would undermine social order. The common people are not ready for such knowledge. Princess Zara addressed this concern directly. Knowledge does not harm us, she said. Our ignorance of it does not change reality. We can choose how to present this information, how to help our people understand, but we cannot pretend the truth doesn't exist. The debate continued for hours. Amelia remained at her post, observing the political maneuvering. She had reported the basic information to Earth Central Command, but had withheld specific details of the research. Earth would learn of it through proper diplomatic channels, not through her acting as a spy. She had made her choice. Finally, Empress Kylara rose, silencing the chamber. My daughter has presented evidence that cannot be dismissed, she declared. We will establish a special research committee to verify her findings and consider implications. The committee will include representatives from Earth and other allied worlds. This discovery affects all sentient species, not just Valaxians. The council members bowed. Accepting the Empress' decision, Zara had won not complete acceptance but the opportunity to continue her work openly, with official support. It was more than she'd hoped for. As the council members departed, Zara approached her mother. Thank you, she said quietly. The Empress regarded her daughter. Science cannot be suppressed forever, she said. You have handled this with wisdom, presenting evidence rather than demanding acceptance. She looked toward Amelia. Your human guard has influenced you, I think. Her tone made it unclear whether she considered this good or bad. Later in the princess's private chambers, Zara removed her formal attire, replacing it with the simpler clothing she preferred. Amelia stood by the window looking out at the capital city. The sunset turned the purple sky to deep violet with streaks of red. You were magnificent, Amelia said. Your presentation was perfect. Zara smiled. The council fears change, she observed. But they cannot stop it. The evidence is too compelling. She moved to stand beside Amelia at the window. Our worlds will be drawn closer by this discovery. It may take time, but eventually all will understand what it means. Amelia turned to face the princess. What does it mean to you? The princess considered this. It means we are not alone, she said. Not truly separate species competing for resources and power, but variations of the same creation. Her white eyes met Amelia's. It means the connection I feel with you is not so impossible after all. Amelia felt warmth spreading through her chest. The princess had spoken aloud what had been growing between them since that first day. Since before that even. From their first meeting there had been something neither could explain. A recognition. Earth Central will want me to return soon, Amelia said. The exchange program was only for 3 months. Zara tilted her head. Will you go? I have duties, obligations, Amelia replied. But she found herself stepping closer to the princess. The height difference between them seemed less important now. Something about the princess made Amelia feel as though they were perfectly matched, despite their physical differences. Perhaps we could extend the exchange program, Zara suggested. Her voice was casual, but her eyes revealed her true feelings. You have proven yourself an effective guard after all. Amelia smiled. I believe that could be arranged. The next day they stood in the Empress' private audience chamber. Zara had requested the meeting formally through proper channels. Amelia stood at attention beside the princess as Empress Kylara entered. Mother Zara began. I wish to formally request that Guard Amelia Hart remain assigned to my protection detail on a permanent basis. The Empress studied them both, her white eyes revealing nothing. This is unusual, she observed. The exchange program was intended to be temporary. A diplomatic gesture, yes. Your Majesty, Amelia acknowledged, but circumstances have changed. The threats against Princess Zara continue. My presence has proven beneficial to her security. The Empress turned to her daughter. Is security your only concern in this matter? Zara met her mother's gaze. I believe Amelia brings valuable perspective to my research, she said. Her human viewpoint helps me understand implications I might otherwise miss. She paused, then added, and yes, there are personal considerations as well. Amelia held her breath. The princess was being remarkably direct for a Valaxian in their culture. Such personal admissions were rare, especially before the Empress herself. Kylara was silent for a long moment. Then she said, Your research suggests humans and Valaxians share common ancestry, that we are in essence distant relatives. Yes, Mother Zara, confirmed. Then a formal alliance between our houses would have symbolic significance, the Empress observed. It would demonstrate our acceptance of your findings in a meaningful way. Amelia struggled to maintain her composure. Was the Empress suggesting what it seemed she was suggesting? Zara seemed equally surprised. Mother, she began. Are you suggesting a formal bond? The Empress stated, between you and the human guard? It would serve multiple purposes, diplomatic, scientific, personal. She studied Amelia. Carefully, the human has proven her worth repeatedly, saving your life, demonstrating loyalty and courage. These are qualities valued in any species, Your Majesty, Amelia said carefully. Such an arrangement would be unprecedented. The Empress almost smiled. Many things happening now are unprecedented, she replied. Your presence here, Princess Zara's discoveries, the changes coming to our empire and to your world. She gestured dismissively. Details can be arranged through diplomatic channels, but I believe such a bond would benefit both our peoples. It would give substance to abstract scientific theories, make real what might otherwise remain academic. After leaving the Empress chambers, Amelia and Zara walked in silence through the palace gardens, both processing what had just occurred. The formal language had been diplomatic, but the meaning was clear. The Empress had just suggested a marriage alliance between her daughter and a human guard. Did that just happen? Amelia finally asked. Zara nodded, still seeming stunned. My mother is always 3 steps ahead, she said. She sees opportunities where others see problems. Is that what I am? An opportunity. Amelia meant it as a joke, but there was uncertainty in her voice. The princess stopped walking, turning to face Amelia. No, she said firmly, you are much more than that. She took Amelia's hands in hers, an unusually demonstrative gesture for a Valaxian. From our first meeting, I felt something I could not explain. She smiled. My scientific mind tried to categorize it, analyze it, but it defied analysis. Amelia squeezed the princess's hands gently. Human emotions are like that, she said. They rarely make logical sense, but they feel right anyway. They continued walking through the garden. The height, difference between them seemed natural, now part of what made them unique together. They passed other Valaxians who looked at them with curiosity, some with disapproval, others with thoughtful interest. The news of Princess Zara's research was spreading. Change was coming slowly but inevitably. 2 days later, Amelia received a communication from Earth Central Command. They had been informed of the Empress' proposal of a formal alliance bond between Amelia and Princess Zara. "This is unprecedented," the captain said, his expression unreadable. "It has diplomatic implications beyond anything we anticipated, I understand," Sir Amelia replied, maintaining her professional demeanor. The captain studied her. "Your mission was to protect the princess and gather information." He reminded her not to form personal attachments. "No," Sir Amelia agreed. "But the situation evolved in unexpected ways.